This episode of Weekly Weird News is sponsored by Bespoke Post and by Athletic Greens.
This show started getting a little too political for some viewers a long time ago.
Can we stick to gaming, guys?
Roughly, it was like the lead up to the 2016 election. Yeah. So 7 years ago. And why was that? It was Trump, obviously. The man is extremely weird. And with his ascension, right-wing politics in general also became increasingly bizarre. It has continued to be bizarre even after Trump's loss in 2020, but in a slightly more desperate way. And desperation is clearly a turnoff for normal voters in this country, as evidenced by the recent midterm election results, where they said,
yeah, you're getting a little too weird with it.
I don't know about this Blake Masters guy. Getting some weird vibes. Just gonna say no.
Yeah.
But Trump has never been one to take no for an answer. It's been documented.
He's changed a couple no's to yeses.
Yeah, he's already officially mounting his big comeback, and it is starting off even more weirdly than last time, if you can believe it.
Coming down a golden escalator, that's old, played out.
Yeah.
Now, it is very weird, but to be clear, it's also really scary considering some of the people that Trump has chosen to surround himself with this time around. If you thought it was bad before, wait till people are desperate or the most extreme parts of the party that are still willing to help shape his aspect on life. But the people that he's surrounding himself with now can best be described as just straight up fascists, and not in the everyone I disagree with is a fascist way, but like literally fascist. And we'll get to Nick Fuentes and what a weird little Nazi freak he is in a minute. But first we need to talk about Kanye. We're not going to bother recapping everything that's happened in Kanye world over the last month or so, but in short, he said a bunch of things that have been widely perceived to be anti-Semitic and anti-Black. He's refused to apologize or tone down his rhetoric one bit. And in the process, he's lost friends, technically family, fans, opportunities, and a shitload of money. So what better time than now for Kanye to again declare his candidacy for President of the United States? If Trump can do
Let's
it,
go.
why not Kanye?
Yeah.
Look, he's got his own logo and everything.
It's a cool logo. It's got a kind of vaporwave vibe. Yeah.
I would think the vaporwave would be played out by now, but who am I?
He's bringing it back.
Yeah.
So Kanye announcing his presidential run right after Trump, who Kanye is a big fan of, just declared his own intentions to run. Seems a bit illogical, but Kanye's a weird guy. Not everything he does is all that logical. And this week we got several new detailed examples of what a weird guy he is, thanks to a Rolling Stone article featuring current and former Yeezy and Adidas staffers describing what it was like to work for Kanye. It's a great article. The opening paragraph really draws you in right off the bat.
A hush fell over the factory sample room in Qingwan, China, as Kanye West examined the prototypes of his latest Yeezy sneakers on display before him. Decision makers from Adidas and members of his entourage waited intently for his feedback when, according to two people who attended the August 2017 meeting, West began to yell that the Yeezys were not yet up to his standards, then approached a senior female employee. The attendees say West looked down at his foot, stared up at the woman, and told her, "I want you to make me a shoe I can fuck." Okay, sir, this isn't that type of factory. First of all, the Fleshlight factory is just down the river, but we can get you there.
I mean, no one's ever done it. No one's ever made a shoe that you can fuck.
In retrospect, seeing that wraparound sandal shoe with all the holes in it, it kind of looks like he could at least fuck that if he tried hard enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, another employee quoted later in the article says that during a job interview, Kanye told the job candidate, "We create products of passion. I literally want to fuck my shoes. That's how good they are." So
I would fuck these shoes if I could, but we haven't figured it out yet.
It sounds like someone who is...
I keep telling them, just put a hole in there, and they're like, "No, sir, it's not ready."
It's a feature, goddammit. It does sound someone like someone who is weirdly suppressing their foot fetish and doing it in a roundabout way that doesn't admit what they're actually into.
No, I'm not a weirdo like those foot fetishists. I just want to be able to fuck a shoe.
Yes, if you think...
A shoe of my own design.
The foot is beautiful, wait till you see what that thing slides into, nice and easy.
Anyway, that same employee also told Rolling Stone that Kanye talked a lot about wanting to design a shoe that was basically a fleshlight.
Wow.
The employee recalls West making similar statements to colleagues about a shoe into which West or a Yeezy consumer could ejaculate. Quote, "Not a sex toy sneaker, but something that you were so into that you would want to have an intimate relationship. At least 10 separate times." He'd be like, literally, fuck. He would be very clear on what that meant. He just keeps bringing it up. How are we doing on the shoe that I can fuck while we're here? No? Well, I want results next time.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
also like, this is some genius big brain move, because when you give out vague directions to people who are smarter than you and they do actually create something based off of your wild assumptions, then you can say that that was exactly what you thought of and you're the genius.
Yeah.
So it's kind of brilliant in a way, but also I kind of get him in the sense that like this dude is so weird that in his brain he's like, he can see it. He can see it and he knows how he wants to feel, but that's all he can say, and he wants the people who can actually design things to do the rest of the work.
But I think he literally wants to fuck the shoe.
Absolutely, he wants to
speaking
ejaculate
metaphors.
into the...
I think he made himself clear.
You've seen the shoe box on 4chan. Well, we're going to make the shoes that go inside it.
Yeah. So anyway, much of the rest of the article is about just how much porn Kanye would watch on the job, and it was a lot of porn. Former Yeezy and Adidas staffers and creative collaborators claim that he played pornography to Yeezy staff in meetings, discussed porn, and showed an intimate photograph of Kim Kardashian in job interviews.
Sir, we've all seen it.
And showed an explicit video and photos of Kardashian as well as his own sex tapes to Yeezy team members.
Wow. It continues. West transplanted Yeezy from Nike to Adidas in late 2013. A few months later, he invited a rising creative, whom he'd only met once over the phone, to his Tulum, Mexico-inspired home in the Hollywood Hills. The creative was excited about a potential collaboration and recalls West, within minutes of stepping into the living room, beckoning them to check out his laptop. Instead of anything resembling work, however, the collaborator claims West had hardcore pornography on the screen. He showed me the video of Francesca Lee, a buff porn star with a strap-on dildo fucking another girl in the ass, the former collaborator tells Rolling Stone. He's like, what do you think of it? Not laughing at all. Two other creatives, including one associated with Yeezy's earlier years, claim West had also shown them pornographic videos, including homemade sex tapes of West engaging in sexual activities with women. The description of the porn that he's showing this creative sounds like something he was rumored to have enjoyed with
that's right.
with Julia Fox, I believe. Or no. It was
way earlier than that.
Yes.
It was that bald lady. I can't remember her name. Amber Rose?
Can't say bald anymore. Well, you should know.
Follicular challenged. She shaved her head as a fashion statement. She was bald.
Anyways,
Amber Rose, I believe.
But yeah, that was a rumor
Fingers
for
in
a
the
while.
booty ass bitch.
Yes,
She called it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's more from the article. Shortly after accepting a top position with Yeezy, a former senior employee claims they were warned by two Adidas executives about West's peculiarly passionate idiosyncrasies. The employee remembers one Adidas vice president saying, "Hey, just so you know, there's going to be this whole porn reference thing," and a second executive saying, "It's going to catch you off guard the first time." I think he does it to catch people off guard. The senior employee says West did indeed catch Yeezy staff by surprise. We would be in a meeting and he'd be talking to you and he'd rattle off in his laptop to play a porn video, the employee tells Rolling Stone. And he's like, "I know it's uncomfortable, but I kind of need this in the background to keep me focused." And you'd be like, okay. The former senior employee claims to have seen West play porn videos in meetings at least 5 times.
First of all, wild, crazy, also extremely problematic.
Yeah, Adidas is now, they've launched an investigation. It's like, you already severed ties. Like,
there's nothing more you could do, really.
Yeah, but it's like, this is shit you should have maybe
I'm
addressed
sure
at the time, but the money was coming in, so you didn't care.
I'm sure there were probably conversations that were run up the ladder at some point, but when it's Kanye West and you're Adidas and it's like,
he is Yeezy. I mean, what are you gonna do? That's, you gotta watch a bunch, you gotta make a lot of cum to sell sneakers.
It also makes sense why he flipped the switch so drastically into being what he is now, which, or has been leading up to this point, which is extremely religious.
He hasn't busted in like 3 years now.
This is exactly the behavior of like crazy, crazy Christian people.
Yeah. It's Mike Lindell, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Kanye's porn obsession, which he himself has publicly referred to as an addiction, was apparently cured a few years ago thanks to Kanye replacing porn with Christianity. Like we said, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. This is a pattern. And even being more of a weirdo about it than he was about jacking off, though. So clearly an addictive personality here, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Which it does align him somewhat with a guy who otherwise doesn't really seem to have that much in common with Kanye, Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is, among many other things, an incel, and he's not only not a fan of porn, but he takes it even further by insisting that his closest followers abstain from sex altogether, and once boasted about searching a fellow extremist's room with a blacklight to find any semen stains. Gonna have to do this, sorry. So according to Nick Fuentes, having sex with women is gay.
I mean, this is a common thread in like fascism where like you are so misogynistic that you're like, it's actually super like gay and beta to have like a girlfriend or a wife, like, cause that kind of turns you into a woman. Actually, the manliest thing you can be is extremely gay, like the warriors of Sparta.
Yes.
There was an entire branch of the early German Nazi party that was like weird gay dudes who saw themselves that way. They didn't last very long, if you can believe it. Turns out that didn't really align with what Hitler was going for, but they were very useful, at least at first. But yeah, anyway, who is this Nick Fuentes guy? I don't think we've ever talked about him before because...
Why?
But so he's 24 years old, and he is the head of what is called the Groypers, which are named after a weird, gross variation on the Pepe cartoon where Pepe is like morbidly obese. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain. Yeah. Their motto is America First, which also has, it's a great throwback to previous movements in America that were also openly fascist. And but this time they're basically a group of mostly Gen Z weirdos who are so openly white nationalist, anti-Semitic, racist, and homophobic that even CPAC banned Fuentes and his followers back in 2020. It's basically a bunch of kids who joined their high school or college's conservative club, and everyone else in the club found them way too weird for them.
Yeah, and that like specifically, I've heard it described as, you know how like people look at 4chan, it's like extremely racist and the worst shit in the world, but then everyone's like, oh, but everyone's joking. Well, this kid took it extremely seriously and believes all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you show up to your university's Turning Point USA club, and you're like, when are we going to talk about NoFap?
Yeah.
When are we going to talk about NoFap?
He's taken all of the extreme views online and actually distilled it into a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very reprehensible, weird.
Yeah.
Like, you watch his videos, and
I don't.
I've seen him posted on Twitter. He does not have stage, he's a dweeb. He doesn't, I'm like, you watch this, and you're like, why would seemingly thousands of people see this guy as like the leader of their movement?
Because
it's fucking weird.
Even being able to speak in public is a huge leg up.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fuentes spends plenty of time in his online broadcasts promoting fascism, doing slurs, and denouncing what he sees as left-wing degeneracy. But he also directs a lot of his attacks at popular mainstream conservative commentators like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk, who he and his fellow Groypers see as cucked. He would prefer that the American right do more to fully embrace fascism. And as an example, here's Nick Fuentes outside CPAC a few years back, announcing to his fans that he's about to go give a speech at a nearby event that is definitely not associated with CPAC. Have a look.
We're doing a press conference at 5 p.m. at the Sheraton Hotel, which is like across the street. I'll be giving my most unchained speech ever. I'm off of Twitter. I have nothing to lose. So this is going to be the most racist. Whoa! Yes! The most anti-Semitic. Yeah! The most Holocaust denying. Yeah! Speech in all of Dallas this weekend. Yes! So I'll see you there. Should we try to walk in a seat? Yeah. America first! America first! America first! America first! America first! Nick Fuentes is in the house! Yeah! It's White Boy Summer! Let's go! White Boy Summer! Yeah! Let's flip and go! Groypers are in the building. Yeah.
So he's literally just saying it.
Yeah.
He's saying it. Again, just not like, oh, he's a fascist. Like, he's a fucking fascist.
Yeah, like
just listen to things he himself says.
The coded language was years ago for Fuentes.
Yeah.
It is pretty blatant at this point. Nick Fuentes is very popular among a certain corner of the far right, the openly fascist corner, but it's unclear how popular he really is. He's got some high-profile fans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but he's also been banned from every major platform for a while, so it would be hard for the average person to even find his stuff if they weren't already looking for it. Still, simply Googling his name brings up pages upon pages of evidence that this weird kid is basically the leader of a hate group, so it was a bit surprising to see that not only did Nick Fuentes have dinner with Donald Trump at Mar-A-Lago this week, but did so alongside Kanye West. and it sounds like it was an eventful dinner. Here's NBC News.
You know it smelled crazy in there. The source familiar with the dinner conversation said the dinner grew heated after Ye, who announced another run for president in 2024 on Thursday, asked Trump to be his running mate. Trump then began insulting Ye's ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, according to the source, and a video that Ye posted to Twitter on Thanksgiving Day recounting the dinner. At a certain point, the conversation turned tense, and Trump began making his critical remarks about Ye's ex, Kardashian. That's the mother of my children, Ye protested, according to his video debrief. Trump then grew animated about Ye challenging him. You're not gonna win. You can't beat me, Trump told Ye, the source said. Nick, you work for the guy, and just because you work for him, you're gonna tell him he can beat me? You just got finished telling me I was the best president ever. Ye said in his video debrief that Trump was angry. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was gonna lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history? The rapper said. I'm like, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
What a meeting of the minds.
A real fucking meeting of the minds.
I love it, but look, the one thing that I can say about all this is despite everything about Kanye West that is so unlikable, the one thing is that he has a natural reaction to defend his children and the mother of his children, which I think at least shows some shred of humanity left inside of him.
Right, but it's a weird thing where he does still kind of seem to think that Kim's going to take him back any day. And it's that kind of thing where, like...
I guess, but look, at least that's the reaction.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's defending her.
Yeah, at least he's not piling on top of the mother of his children, which, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised by. So this is one little thing where I'm like...
he kind of did that in trying... He thought in his brain he was defending Kim and his kids by constantly insulting her relationship with Skeet...
okay, yeah.
Skeet Davidson... Whereas, like, the result is, like, this was not... They didn't see it as him protecting them.
Yes, of course.
Him terrorizing them.
I guess it's just like when you've seen someone for, like, 20 years, you just really hope the best for them and want them to snap out of it, but it seems like he's too far gone. I mean, this meeting with Fuentes and Trump at Mar-A-Lago is, you can't really come back from that.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we can't really paint the full picture. Obviously, it would take too long, but, like, Nick Fuentes, I mean, there's just mountains of evidence of this guy being just the fucking weirdest little freak for years. And to imagine, like, even like 2 or 3 years ago when Kanye was off the deep end, but still, still selling out stadiums.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, picturing that Kanye hanging out with, like, the number one, like, Gen Z Nazi on the internet is, like, would have sounded insane. But, like, at this point, it's like, oh, yes, sure, Seems like something 2022 Kanye would do. Sure.
He's gone.
And yeah, sure. Donald Trump would have both of them over for dinner. Sure. Put that on your bingo card. Fuck it.
So it sounds like things didn't go great, which is to be expected when you show up for dinner at the former president's house and then ask him to be your VP right after he declared his own run for presidency. That's like the biggest diss, which is awesome.
Yeah, I actually love this. And
it's a bunch of like chest puffing.
I swear to God, like for Trump, it's like he's happy to have Kanye cheerleading him, but the second a black man asks Trump to like be his number 2, it's like that's when the racism finally comes to the surface.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily
I would never.
Luckily,
Disgusting.
Kanye has been conditioned to also be racist over the past couple of months.
I mean, slavery was a choice. So,
that's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like this was a best case scenario, I guess. Just a bunch of people potentially hurting their own presidential runs by arguing with each other about who should be...
They should all start a podcast together.
Potentially horrible consequences, but fascinating nonetheless.
I would want to hear it. Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
I mean, the way things are going, it would probably, 1 million people would love it and be directly inspired by it, which would be bad.
Yeah.
But I'd still be very curious to hear what kind of fucking conversation these 3 very strange people.
Yeah, because otherwise we just have the one-sided conversation. I mean, to be fair, most of this is based on what Kanye has said about the meeting in a video posted to Twitter, which also seems to reveal that in addition to Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos is also helping Kanye with his run for president. Quite the dream team.
Add Milo to the podcast. Now we got...
And now Kanye is technically in the orbit of Jack Berkman and Jacob Wall. He's in that orbit because of Milo.
Oh my God. There is potential for a crossover. They might have missed each other like ships passing in the
Barely,
night.
yeah.
But it is funny that like Milo is now, I guess he thinks he's making his comeback. We'll see how successful that is. But like his whole reason for being successful the first time around in like 2015 was like, he's like, I'm super fucking gay and I'm conservative. Like, what?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what I think about Gamergate.
Yeah, and now he claims to be like formerly gay, which is not a thing.
Well, he's like a completely reactionary figure who goes with the tide of what's going to bring him.
The whole reason people used him in the first place was like, well, he's gay and he agrees with me, so how can I be homophobic? But he says he's not gay anymore, even though he
it doesn't matter.
It
literally doesn't matter. This is the guy who literally before Gamergate happened was talking about how gaming was ruining dudes, and then immediately Gamergate happens and is like, I know I can get a little.
There's no real Milo. There's no real Milo Yiannopoulos. Like if you go back to like 2012 when he was just a like journalist for like Business Insider or some shit, just like writing the most level-headed like boring articles, and then 2-3 years later he
went under the tutelage of Steve Bannon.
Yeah, who Nick Fuentes hates. Also thinks is a cuck.
None of this makes sense, and it doesn't need to because they're all just using each other.
But like the weird, like the alliances and it's a fascinating.
This is a very serious example of it, but this is the same type of bullshit that happens in fucking high school. It's the same type of shit that happened a month ago with all those fucking Twitch streamers. It's all just like everyone's just using each other, and that's how all this drama happens. If you don't fucking hang out and do this stupid shit,
I love it.
Yeah.
This has so much potential for more drama. I mean, Kanye's already starting drama by coming to Trump's house and insulting him to his face.
Yeah.
And then Trump insulting him back.
Look, fun to watch, dangerous implications.
Sure,
yeah.
I guess. But again, I feel like most normal people see this shit and they're just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'd feel a little more worried if the midterms didn't go the way they did, because it does seem that the more extreme sides of even the GOP are heavily pushed back against by most people.
It's what Felix Biederman calls the normal whites do not, they find it weird that you're obsessed with like litter boxes and bathrooms and schools and stuff. They just find that weird. They are not.
It's like the opposite of the ratchet effect. Yeah. The white, like the only thing that can overpower the ratchet is like just normal white people.
Yeah. No, I'll just go for Biden.
Actually, I think it was better before when I think we should go back. Anyways, Nick Fuentes doesn't have many supporters among mainstream Republicans or even MAGA Republicans, so hosting an open white nationalist for dinner at Mar-A-Lago has been seen pretty much across the board as a weird, unforced error by Trump, especially since it happened right after all his major midterm endorsements failed, and after his speech declaring his candidacy was deemed low energy by even his own supporters. So Team Trump is doing some damage control. Here's the New York Times.
During the dinner, according to a person briefed on what took place, Mr. Fuentes described himself as part of Mr. Trump's base of supporters. Mr. Trump remarked that his advisors urge him to read speeches using a teleprompter and don't like when he ad-libs remarks. Mr. Fuentes said Mr. Trump's supporters preferred the ad-libs, at which Mr. Trump turned to the others, the person said, and declared that he liked Mr. Fuentes, adding, "He gets me." In a statement on Friday, Mr. Trump said, "Kanye West very much wanted to visit Mar-A-Lago. Our dinner meeting was intended to be Kanye and me only, but he arrived with a guest whom I had never met and knew nothing about." The statement said nothing about Mr. Fuentes' views. In a post later Friday on his social media website Truth Social, Mr. Trump said that Mr. West unexpectedly showed up with 3 of his friends whom I knew nothing about. He said the dinner took place with many members present on the back patio. The dinner was quick and uneventful. Then they left for the airport. Early Friday evening, Mr. Trump made a third attempt at defending himself, saying that Mr. West had sought business advice from him, expressed no anti-Semitism, and I appreciated all the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? I didn't know Nick Fuentes.
That's pretty telling.
To be clear, I don't know anything about him. Never heard of him, but I don't know the guy.
Pretty telling, especially from Team Trump, to apologize multiple times, or at least try to
apologize.
Make sense of or distance himself from it,
right.
Because And this is almost like on the level of like the David Duke thing. Like, I don't know him, but I heard he says nice things about me.
But it's like everything he's saying, like all the reasons for distancing yourself from Nick Fuentes are also reasons to distance yourself from Kanye West.
Yeah, it's strange. Also, a glaring self-admission that the security protocols around Mar-A-Lago are non-existent.
They're not even Googling the people who are like getting guest passes.
Just whoever wants to come. And it can sit at a table with the president, and the president, by his own admission, has no idea who this person is.
Yeah, it does paint a picture of how one might get into such a place and do such.
This is what
things.
baffles me. It's like Fox or like Newsmax or whatever just sees it and they're like, well, he didn't know him. And it's like, okay, so what was the fucking person doing at the residence?
How did he get in there?
Of an ex-president who is running for 2024 and he's sitting at a table with people he doesn't know, like.
Yeah, why is it that someone invited to Mar-A-Lago can just like bring along a bunch of friends?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, they're with me.
And then also quickly go to the airport.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he's doing the classic Trump move of insisting that he didn't know what a piece of shit someone he met with was, while also not denouncing or even acknowledging that they are a piece of shit. Kind of brilliant, but it's the typical Trump move. Will this hurt him? Probably not. Though it is yet another reason for the more mainstream, respectable conservative media apparatus to shift their focus away from Trump and onto someone with seemingly less baggage like Ron DeSantis, who may or may not have tortured inmates at Guantanamo Bay, according to reports. We don't know. But if it's true, they'd love him for it.
Yes.
But trying to push back on Trump, that was not enough to stop Trump the first time. They all pushed back on him until it was clear that he was going to get the nomination, and then they fell right in line. So the 2024 election is really already shaping up to be at least as much of a shit show as the 2016 and 2020 elections, as is tradition.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great time.
But now let's shift focus away from the far-right insanity in our country to far-right insanity up in our neighbor to the north, Canada. Yeah. America's hat.
You're not getting off so easy, Canada. You're coming along this ride with us.
Yeah.
We have an update to a story we talked about a while back regarding Romana Didulo, a.k.a. the QAnon Queen of Canada, who has managed to convince hundreds and possibly thousands of Canadians that she is, in fact, their queen. And this has resulted in many of her followers having their utilities turned off for lack of payment because, of course, Queen Romana decreed that utility bills are illegal, which the utility companies, they seem to have not gotten the memo on. The decree did not pass my desk. She also very notably ordered her supporters to perform citizens' arrests on cops, which of course resulted in dozens of those supporters being arrested by the very cops that they tried to arrest themselves.
While live streaming the whole thing to the internet. Yeah. It's very embarrassing.
Anyways, last we checked, Queen Romana had rented an RV from an unsuspecting couple who were alarmed to discover that Queen Romana was driving the RV pretty much nonstop across all of Canada, rather than simply going on a camping trip or something. And then they had their personal info released when they complained about it. Doesn't seem like a fun time for an unsuspecting couple.
The story of how they just had this shit up on Facebook Marketplace and they came over, like everything's normal, and then they saw them put a decal on the RV and they're like, what the fuck is that? And they like went to the website.
Probably nothing.
And they're like, oh no! Oh no!
They just, that alone, did more due diligence than the people attending Mar-A-Lago dinners.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, here's Vice with an update.
The couple says they weren't able to get help from the RCMP and were forced to just wait. Then suddenly, the LeBlancs got a text in early November informing them that the RV had been dropped off at a gas station some 200 kilometers or 120 miles from their Manitoba home. The couple drove out there, relieved that the dispute was over, but worried about what was waiting for them. When they pulled up to the gas station, LeBlanc said she could tell instantly something was wrong with the vehicle. Truthfully, I couldn't even drive behind it because it sat at such an unlevel angle on the road. It was just so frustrating. I couldn't even watch it, said LeBlanc. I had to drive in front of the RV on the way home because I was like, I can't look at this for 2 hours. First of all, the RV wasn't sitting square on the ground, meaning that something had likely gone wrong in the suspension. Then the couple realized in the sparse message they received from the Queen's team, they were never told where the keys were left and looked forever to find them and had to use a spare set. They would find the keys later, taped underneath the RV after they arrived home. They just left it in a mess. They didn't bother to clean out their food or the garbage or some of their supplies, LeBlanc said. The slide is completely damaged. It can't be opened or closed. There are issues with suspension. Inside, there was like food everywhere. I think there was a sleeping bag they left behind. They left their sardines, naturally.
Yeah, the stinkiest fish.
She loves the sardines. She makes all of them eat the sardines.
Yeah.
It's the food of queens.
Look, it's not bad, not as bad as you would think based
By
on
itself,
pop
just
culture.
out of the can, I don't know. You got to really have a real salt craving to want some sardines.
Well, she does.
She does. The salt of her enemies.
Anyways, once they had a chance to fully assess the damage, it was extensive, and repairs will likely cost thousands of dollars. They discovered that the RV's mileage was, of course, double what Queen Romana had paid for, and that's money that the LeBlancs are pretty sure they're never going to get back. And I would agree with them on that.
Yeah,
Cut
just
your
let
losses.
it go.
Meanwhile, Queen Romana has successfully grifted nearly enough money from her followers to cover the costs of her own $62,000 RV. So for now, the only RV she and her minions will be destroying is her own, at least until it fully breaks down and they head back to Facebook Marketplace to make another unsuspecting victim's life a complete hell.
Yeah, if you're a Canadian with an RV, make sure that, do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Don't let this woman get anywhere near your RV because she will leave stinky fish smell everywhere and your suspension's going to be fucked up. And you're not going to like it.
I feel like because it's such a national story and now international story that the insurance company should just pay them out for this RV. It's very public what happened to it.
Yeah, you would think, but the insurance companies are evil and
True.
And they'll find a way out of it.
Just use it as marketing. Be like, yeah, we took the L on this one. And
We'll
L,
take the L on you next time.
yeah, but L means love.
Yeah.
Love for Canadians. Yeah, we take L so you don't have
When
to.
your cars get fucked up out there, we take the L.
Part of your insurance is knowing that Canadians are feral beings. They will ravage an automobile just like a gopher will.
Canadians might seem like the more respectable, more low-key version of their neighbors to the south, but that's only because the colder weather keeps them, much like transporting insects, the colder weather keeps them
Docile.
docile.
Yes. Things warm
They're
up,
actually much more feral.
gets crazy.
Anyway, we've got the headlines half of the show coming right up. But first, this episode is sponsored by Bespoke Post. Gear up for winter with Bespoke Post and their new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month, like the Polished Box, with everything you need to take care of your dress shoes, or the Filet Box, which comes with 2 high-quality knives to up your chef game. No matter what you have going on this season, Box of Awesome has you covered. From camping gear essentials to travel must-haves and cocktail kits, Box of Awesome has everything you need for winter.
Yeah, they sent me some really good stuff recently. I got some nice whiskey glasses. I don't drink anymore, but previously they had sent me some non-alcoholic like mixer thing, and it's really good. And it gets the vibe, being able to hold the glasses, and I don't know. It's like really they sent me some unique stuff that I wouldn't buy for myself.
Yeah, I got a box with a really useful multi-purpose knife for camping and gardening. It came with a bird call that I use all the time. It works.
They sent me like a regular knife with no utility, but it's cool looking, so I like it.
Nothing wrong with a knife. Always good to have a knife.
So to get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Each box is valued at around $70, but you only pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each box of awesome, you're supporting small business. 90% of everything that comes in your box of awesome is from a small, up-and-coming brand. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime.
Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code WEIRD at checkout. That is boxofawesome.com, code WEIRD, for 20% off your first box. Boxofawesome.com, code WEIRD.
This episode is also sponsored by Athletic Greens, a product that we both literally use every day.
Every morning.
Yeah, because getting all your proper vitamins, minerals, and probiotics is important. And rather than swallowing a bunch of vitamin supplements, Athletic Greens gives your body everything that it needs while also tasting great. Starting the day with a scoop of AG1 is honestly more important than that first cup of coffee at this point.
So what is this green stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. And unlike a lot of multivitamin supplements that just go right on through you, these are high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. Athletic
Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues and ended up on a complicated supplement routine to recover. It cost him $100 a day. Athletic Greens costs less than $3 a day. And you're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. And it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/weird. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/weird to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, now let's get into the weirdest, craziest headlines from around the world this week, starting with...
Posing like American farmers is the latest trend among Chinese influencers.
We do love our farm culture here.
They, I guess apparently previous trends in just the past few months has been going to the one Costco location in all of China, which is in the middle of Beijing, and like dressing like American influencers and taking your picture in front of it and posting like, just here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I have seen that.
West Coast life.
I have seen the impersonating as if you're in America stuff, but I haven't seen, is that what they're trying to do with this as well?
Yeah, and then the other one was the American high school trend where they dress up like characters from like Clueless, basically, like American high school movies that have made it over there. And I guess they don't have lockers in Chinese high schools. The only place that has similar lockers is IKEA. Has lockers to put your like bags in. So they go down to the IKEA and pose at the IKEA like locker stalls, pretending like they're taking their books out and like, on my way to class.
Look, this is goofy as hell, but everyone does that here too. They rent out fake planes.
Yeah.
There's an entire studio that's not too far from like the Burbank airport that is literally built for Instagram influencers. There's a plane. It
wasn't built for that. I worked on a student film that filmed there, but they're making a great side income on.
Yeah, because they have like a 5-star luxury suite thing there. And you can like slide any background you want in and out of it. It's crazy.
When they film scenes in movies that take place on planes, they're not actually in the air.
Oh, did you know that, everyone?
They're actually just on the ground.
Yeah.
But this is similar to those, was it Polish people dressing up like Americans for that like weird LARPing thing.
Oh yeah,
like the small town America LARP.
Yeah.
It's always funny to see how like other countries like perceive like American culture. Is like, okay, do your best America impression. They're like, here I am on my farm with my hat and my hay.
It's me, Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess enjoy it while we can, because in 10 years it's going to be our kids impersonating China's influencers, trying to be more like them. They're like, this is totally me in, Shanghai.
Yeah.
So end of an era, yeah. Herschel Walker blames wife's awful genes for son being an ugly baby. And that son he's talking about is, of course, Christian Walker.
Yeah.
Who he said, this clip's from like years ago, but someone found it recently, but he was talking to a room full of like Marines or something, telling this like long-winded, every anecdote this guy says is like Grandpa Simpson describing tying an onion to his belt. Like, I don't know what he started off talking about. I don't know if he brought it back to any sort of point, but he was talking about how when his son Christian was born, his head was weird shaped because his wife's genes are bad. And so every night Herschel would massage his son's head into more of a normal shape, and he was successful at it because Christian's head turned out normal in the end.
Cool. A totally normal story that normal dads tell.
Yeah. We should put this man in the Senate so he can tell these kinds of stories
during a filibuster.
In the congressional, right? Yeah, this man, that's why they want
King
him.
of the filibuster.
This man could filibuster like none other.
Yeah.
He can just talk and talk and talk.
We've cracked the code. We know why
Holy
he is being...
shit. That's why. Yeah.
Just get Herschel up there to tell one of his wacky long stories that don't go anywhere. But it is kind of funny that this exists because it shows he can be like, no, I've hated my son for a long time.
I hated my son long before I found out
he was ugly.
Gay.
I said he was ugly years ago.
Yeah.
So
Christian Walker's been laying low since the election. I can't wait for him to come back. It's dark Christian time.
Yeah.
Because he was with his dad for a long time, and then he finally hit a breaking point where now he's still extremely conservative. He obviously
I think he's just hedging his bets on how the runoff goes, I guess.
But he has thrown his dad under the bus, and his dad has thrown him under the bus. So very excited where Christian Walker goes next.
Yes. Over 1,000 pounds of marijuana vanished in India. Police are blaming hungry rats.
I mean, rats, they do be hungry.
Could be rats. That's a lot of weed, though.
1,000 pounds of weed? That's like a room full of weed.
Yeah.
I would assume...
Those rats probably didn't go very far. I'm sure they're right around the corner.
I would assume the amount of poop that eating 1,000 pounds of marijuana would generate would be noticeable. You'd smell it. You'd be able to be like, what's that horrible smell? Oh, it's the rats eating some of the marijuana. You wouldn't discover that all 1,000
What
pounds...
smells like skunk and shit?
Yeah. So, if you ask me, these cops are lying. They the weed either never existed or they sold it.
Yeah, I was gonna say even like the idea that they stole, distributed it, and smoked it themselves is unrealistic.
Yeah, it's but I love the excuse.
Yeah,
Your Honor, these rats. You've dealt with rats before. Well, imagine
they'll eat anything.
Imagine a couple hundred rats. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good excuse. Where's the proof?
How you gonna? Yeah, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Blind man fined for colliding with car while drunk on bicycle.
Well,
you ever get so drunk that you think you can see things? Well, that's what this guy got so drunk he thought he could see things, which he hasn't been able to do for a long time.
This is obviously extremely dangerous and should never be done under any circumstances.
I bet it felt so cool.
But at least he was on a bicycle and not driving a car.
Well, I mean, with a bike you get on, it's sort of like with a car, especially the cars these days. Too many buttons, you don't know where anything is. The bike, it's like riding a bike.
Ding, ding, ding,
So,
here I come.
Yeah, I bet it had to have felt cool for the brief moment before he collided with a car. Because they got the wind. It's like that 90s movie, City of Angels, where, spoiler alert, Meg Ryan, she's just so happy with her boyfriend, Nicolas Cage, that she's biking down a hill and closes her eyes for seemingly like a whole minute and dies by getting hit by a car. That is a main plot point of that movie. That is not a comedy. It takes itself very seriously, and the main character dies from riding a bike with her eyes closed for like a very, very long time.
As someone who has gone away from the city streets and into the mountains because of multiple horrific interactions with cars, don't fucking ride drunk, everyone watching.
Yeah, you're also like, as much as you think, you're like...
Dead sober, you are about to get killed at every point.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah, so having any lapse on your reaction time, like cars are already trying to kill you. This guy's lucky that he just got a fine.
So next time this blind man should try biking sober, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Give it another shot.
No, because you can ride without hands and eyes. You just use the echolocation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
He's probably not even really blind. He's just blind drunk.
That's right.
Yeah.
San Francisco police propose using robots capable of deadly force. Wow.
Well, they've really tried everything, haven't they?
I love this headline because it once again demonstrates the truth about San Francisco, which is not that it's some fucking like woke hippie like utopia or whatever they're trying to paint it as. It is a hellscape. It is a dystopian city that literally wants homeless people to die.
Yes.
And
they'll do it in needlessly mean ways.
Yeah, like, they would be the first city to deploy a RoboCop.
Yes.
And do it wokely.
Yeah, and admit it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for now, they're just like, they wanted to authorize the law. So like, if there's ever a way to use a robot to use lethal force on a criminal so that it doesn't put an officer's life in danger, that's the only time we'll use it. Well, guess what? Cops say their lives are in danger all the fucking time. Every situation they find themselves in, their lives are in danger. So you just authorized RoboCop, basically. Very cool. Very excited to see where this goes.
Well, that way they can dial in the exact amount of time that the robot can step on someone's neck before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. The only saving grace here is good luck getting up them hills, robots. San Francisco, not a very flat city. Gonna be tumbling down those streets.
Well, now that the cops don't have to walk up them, they're gonna get even doughier.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm. Brazil's reclusive Bolsonaro has a skin infection. Cannot wear pants.
Man, this guy's health...
He's a medical anomaly.
He's the sickest man to ever live, much less rule over a country.
He must just love doctors and hospitals because, like, it just seems like he's constantly finding things wrong with himself, but I don't know, it's weird.
It's very weird. He's the sickest man who ever lived.
If he's away from a hospital too long, he goes to an emu farm.
Yeah, bite me, come on. I want to know how it feels again.
Sorry.
But yeah, he lost. I don't know if we mentioned that. He fucking lost.
And he did concede eventually.
Oh, did he? Finally?
I believe so, yeah.
I think, so maybe that was more recently, but this article when it came out, they're like, yeah, he made like one speech kind of like acknowledging, but like
maybe
that
was it.
Not actually conceding. And he's like trying to do the Trump stolen election thing, and like a lot of his supporters are getting into it, but it's just like, it doesn't have the same momentum that it would up here.
Well,
like,
and it's hard to like rally your supporters when you're like seeing a doctor about a skin rash that stops you from putting pants on.
Right. Yeah.
Like, are we sure this is the guy we want to rally around and fight for us? The guy who cannot wear pants?
Yeah. But yeah, the whole like stolen election thing, it's like Rio de Janeiro looked like the night they announced the results that Lula da Silva had won and Bolsonaro had lost. Like, I've never seen a city like that fucking happy. It's like, oh, you're gonna come out and say like, oh, this is all fake. Yeah, sorry, you can't.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Brazil does know how to party.
they do know how to party. I wish this World Cup was back in Brazil instead of in Qatar. No,
Yeah.
they do not know how to party in Qatar. Except for that weird, did you see that English guy who's like, we went looking for beers, and then the sheik pulled up and we got in his Mercedes and he took us to his palace and hung out with his lion.
Meanwhile, like, everyone's like, can't say that. You won't be invited back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least they
Ugh.
didn't say the sheik's name.
Yeah, well, I don't know, it was Muhammad something. Well, that really
That's what they
narrows
would
it
say.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been watching much. It seems pretty boring, the coverage, and nothing really. I'm just waiting till it gets a little more exciting.
Yeah, I'm waiting
is all.
until the group stage.
Yeah, right now I'm at I'm protesting the World Cup.
Yeah,
But because it's not
I
interesting
couldn't
right
possibly support such an event that, you know, I care about human rights, and that's why I'm skipping the qualifying stage of the World Cup.
now. Yes, only the finals.
I'll be tuning into the rest.
Of course,
The
yes.
qualifying stage. It is cool that America is officially equally good at soccer as England.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
official. England is just as good at soccer as the United States, and we're just as good as they are.
It'll never change.
Yep.
In fact, we might get better.
Yeah, sorry, England.
Now that LAFC is the MLS champion,
Yeah.
we have even more to prove now.
Well, most of our players play for other countries, though, right?
Shh.
Anyway.
And sure, most of like England's players come here to retire and play for our teams
True.
because it takes no skill apparently if you're a soccer player. But whatever,
Yeah.
we're still just as good.
We are equally good.
Mhm.
Anti-woke bank shuts down after less than 3 months. All these banks, they're too woke. All the social justice banks, like Bank of America, always with their blue hair, blue check mark. They're always they're using their pronouns. Fucking Wells
I
Fargo.
can't think of anything more communist
yeah
than
banking.
banks.
Yeah. This is I've read about this a bunch of times over the last couple months as it became a thing and became not a thing. I don't know what they see as too woke in the traditional banking sphere. The only like actual example I could find is that a lot of the banks have taken on like responsible governance initiatives where they're like trying not to invest their holdings too much in like oil and gas companies. Like they're trying to invest more in like green energy and stuff like that. But like that's the only thing. But
Well, they want to be part of an exclusive club,
right.
And
this was the freedom phone of banks. Like,
yes, exactly.
All the same grifters, like Candace Owens, Peter Thiel, they all got behind and they're like, finally a bank for real Americans. But like, I don't see, it wasn't any different from what the other banks did. In fact, what the other banks did actually worked. What these people built couldn't last more than 3 months.
Well, the good thing about this one is you didn't even need a password. You just had to type out the N-word to log in.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, this guy gets it.
Yeah. Welcome.
Because if they're woke, they would never write that.
Exactly. It keeps people out.
They'd malfunction.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And that's why it's shut down.
You don't need to store your passwords. You just type the N-word.
That's after the midterms. Everyone's like, I can't really type the N-word anymore. Seems like the party isn't the same as it was a week ago.
I'm just not feeling it anymore.
Mhm.
I used to love typing the N-word and then just kind of lost its fun. It used to be so fun.
Lawyers debate whether Nazism led to Holocaust as Montreal hate speech trial resumes.
Got to take this back to first principles. So, listen, Your Honor, my client has said that the Holocaust didn't happen, but if it did, it would have been awesome. And what the prosecutor needs to prove is not only that the Holocaust happened, but that it had anything to do with Nazis. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions going into the court's argument here. I mean, I've heard of the Holocaust, I've heard of the Nazis. What's the connection? You got to prove it, or else my client is innocent.
Well, eye-opening to everyone in the court, I guess, to have a wonderful historical retelling of, maybe someone will learn something, I guess.
The world's longest trial. It's going to be like years long while they go through all the records. And
yes.
like, okay, we fully concluded that not only are you guilty, but also that the Holocaust happened and the Nazis did it.
I guess we can close the book on this.
Yeah,
Immediately another hate crime happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, we got to do the whole thing over again.
Well, after a couple times, they'll really get it dialed in to where they'll be like, 5 hours, we'll have this trial done.
yeah, streamline it.
Yeah, and we'll record it for the Canadian Broadcast Channel so everyone can watch it and understand.
That would be good.
Yeah. Your Honor, aliens built the pyramids. And that is the extent of my historical knowledge.
Unless you can prove otherwise.
Yeah.
Fisherman catches 67-pound goldfish. This thing's a fucking monster.
It was 3 months since the local county fair, and this pond is full of them.
I knew that goldfish could grow
Like
a
this
little,
big, I
a
thought.
little bit bigger depending on the size of the cage. This one, massive. Biggest fucking goldfish I've ever seen in my life.
Does it even resemble a goldfish anymore?
Yeah,
Really?
It's still gold. Like
It's just larger?
So goldfish are literally just carp that the Chinese bred to be small and gold like thousands of years ago. They're designer fish.
Like pugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought that I'm like, oh, maybe once they get bigger they lose the goldness. Oh, this fish is fucking gold.
Wow.
So
Damn.
very cool. So it's almost a shame that he had to catch it. Imagine how big it could get if you let it stay out there.
You should put it in a gigantic cellophane bag and take it to try to
Biggest
return
bag
it.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah, try to return it somewhere. Take it to the Pyramid Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah. I'm unsatisfied with my goldfish purchase. I'd like to.
I'm going to need a forklift to get it out of the back of my truck.
Final headline. Menacing wild turkeys, led by Kevin, are taking a New England city for themselves.
Okay, is Kevin a human, or is it Kevin McAllister, or is Kevin the turkey?
Kevin is the leader of the turkeys. He is
a turkey, though.
He is the bad turkey, but Kevin is a bad influence on the local turkeys. According to these people in this little Massachusetts town, they're like, we used to coexist with the turkeys. We had wild turkeys all around. It's New England. Everything was fine. And then Kevin came along, and Kevin's been amping up all these other turkeys, getting them all riled up. And now, people share like photos and videos. They're like, they go to their front door to try to like leave their house, and there's just Kevin sitting there, and like they can't leave because if a turkey will fuck you up.
Yeah, it can maim you.
If a turkey's mad at you, they will fuck you up. They've killed people.
If it's life and death, yeah, I could take a turkey. But if I'm just going about my business and get randomly attacked,
yeah,
if
you're not ready for it, they can hurt you. But yeah, like they'll pull over, park their car, and they can't get out because there's a fucking turkey right outside, like giving them, mean mugging them, and it's all Kevin's fault.
So did they like do like a hunting thing for Thanksgiving or what?
No, I don't know if they're allowed to hunt these turkeys. I don't know what the rules are.
They should be like, okay, one time we're gonna let you kill Kevin.
Just a picture of Kevin. You may hunt turkeys, but only this.
Wanted.
Only this turkey.
Yeah.
And
I had a turkey for Thanksgiving that the family raised and slaughtered and cooked.
Yeah, you were staying at Zuckerberg's house?
Yes. Over at Mark Zuckerberg's.
It's doubly delicious.
They named it too, and its name was Ken.
Ken.
Yeah, and they were referring to it by its name while we were eating it.
See, that's weird. Like
I thought it was kind of cool.
If I'm raising an animal for the express purposes of eating it, I'm not giving that fucker a name.
Yeah, sure.
That's something I do for pets. Animals I want to have a
Well, it
personal
was their
relationship.
pet.
I don't get that. There would be no affection between me and an animal I plan on eating. I don't want to forge bonds here. I didn't come here to make friends, and neither did they.
I think maybe after the first 2 or 3 times, you might be in some kind of mutual agreement that it hasn't agreed to, but you have, where it's like, I'm gonna be cool with you.
I would respect the animal,
of course,
obviously, but I wouldn't be friendly with the animal. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Especially
Kevin was
if I had kids and stuff, I wouldn't want them getting any weird ideas and feeling weird about me murdering Kevin.
Ken was delicious.
I'm sure he was.
Succulent, juicy.
That's a freshly killed, not frozen.
And taken wonderful care of.
Yeah.
Very focused on.
That's good.
Yeah.
I would treat the bird right, obviously. I'd want him to have the best life. But I would not make friends with the turkey.
You're giving that bird specifically the best turkey life probably possible outside of, running a troop of turkeys wild in New England.
But we're not going to be on a first name basis.
All right.
You are my prisoner. You're my future Thanksgiving dinner.
They did say he took the blade well, like he didn't expect it. Because why would he? The family loves me.
Oh, that's damn. Damn.
Hey, but look, if you can't slaughter your own food, you have no business eating it.
I guess. I'm sorry I didn't slaughter the
fish that you ate.
The Alaskan salmon that I had for my Thanksgiving dinner, because fuck turkey. Next year I'll go up to Alaska and get that salmon myself.
I think you should. Yeah, I think that's great.
Because I could go down to Santa Monica and catch the whatever fish they have there, but it would poison me and I'd probably fucking die.
Yeah.
You want to eat fish, you can't get them down around here.
Also, it's possible to do both. I've been trying to eat more vegan food. Obviously, I had the turkey. But like that's the thing is my dad brought it up when I was home too. He's just like, oh, I thought you were vegan. And it's just like, why can't I just like be better?
Yeah.
Can I just be better about eating meat? Eventually I'll get there maybe.
People are so weird about that.
It's like either off or on. It's so strange.
Yeah.
I guess I get it, but also like if you're doing a little bit better, you should feel good about that.
Yeah.
But people don't allow you to. So if you're trying, I feel, you're doing a great job.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
I'm sure it was wonderful and there were no arguments over the dinner table and everyone just enjoyed watching Paula Abdul dance on that float.
My favorite meme from Thanksgiving, it's just a stock photo or whatever of a guy like eating. It's just like me during Thanksgiving while my uncle explains Elon Musk and Twitter, a topic that I have like vociferously devoured for like the last like 3 weeks, pretending that I'm hearing this all for the first time.
Yeah, luckily, the most engaged conversation I had was about Artemis going to the moon.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, this is the most refreshing conversation ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. It was good.
Nice.
There you go. Well, we hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We'll be back, of course. It's officially time. Elliot can put his Santa hat on.
Ding dong, ding dong. Oh, the weather outside is... You get it.
Yeah. Look, I think it's great. Elliot, it's finally time.
Do I hear jingle bells off in the distance?
Yeah. It's time to fight another war on Christmas.
That's right.
I think it's going to be a good one for
We
you.
need to defend our institutions.
That's right. Thank you for your service watching our show. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment if you want. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. 230,000.
Wow.
We've jumped.
Wow.
I don't know if we're at 230 yet, but you'll make it happen. We're like 100 away.
It's a Christmas miracle. Ha, ha, ha.
Bye. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.